Hello, and oh, there we go. Hello, and welcome to the second live exercise class on YouTube. Just going to shut this door. I've come on 5 minutes early because there's some things I want to talk to you about, and if I talk during the exercise, it's a bit difficult to do the exercises and talk and make sure people are sort of getting it. So what I want to talk to you about today is sarcopenia. It's a big word. Sarcopenia is muscle wastage. As we age, we lose, from the age of about 35, it's all downhill from 35, we lose about 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade. And when you get to your 60s and 70s, it accelerates. And you may not notice that you're losing muscle because it's replaced by fat. Muscle can't turn to fat, but it can be replaced by fat. And yeah, you just get gradually weaker. So certain things that you were able to do before, you couldn't, like walking up and down stairs or getting in and out the bath. I don't know, just walking generally, getting the tops off jars. Have you noticed how they've started to really screw those tops on jars? I had a jar of olives once now in a great high dudgeon. I took it back to Tesco's and demanded that they opened it for me because I just could not get it open. Anyway, that was their jar, not my weakness, obviously. The good news about sarcopenia is that it's not inevitable. It is a little bit, but by doing strengthening exercises, you can reverse it. But you need to do 2 or 3 strengthening exercises at least twice. You need to do strengthening exercise sessions, like we're sort of doing here, at least twice a week. So the government guidelines are 150 minutes a week, which is about half an hour a day, of cardiovascular exercise. So that's exercise that, I see new people are joining us. I'm starting these at 5 to 11, so I can just explain a little bit about some of the things we're doing. So I'm talking about sarcopenia, the muscle wastage that you get with older age. But you can go back to the beginning of it and see it. Yes, so 150 minutes, about half an hour a day of exercise that makes you slightly breathless and a bit sweaty. But you also need 2 strengthening sessions a week as well, just to stop this sarcopenia. I discovered a week last Friday that having muscles moving and having healthy muscles helps with your immune system. It also helps with strong bones as well. Most people have heard of osteoporosis, but they haven't heard of sarcopenia or muscle wastage. So I've got a bit of a bee in my bonnet about sarcopenia. So you need to think why you're exercising. Are you exercising just because you're bored and you're stuck inside? I've called these exercise sessions now Fit for Life, because they're functional exercise sessions, which means that most of the exercises that I do will help you in sort of activities for daily living. So just your normal day-to-day activities. So sarcopenia, muscle wastage, is really important. Well, it's not important, but stopping it is important. So any sort of strengthening exercise you do will help to stop sarcopenia. And remember that doing these exercises is not just for the duration of the lockdown. Really, it should be for the rest of your, hopefully, long and healthy life, because it's not just how long you live, is it? It's the quality of life. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we're not just doing this for the lockdown. I'm contemplating keeping these exercises going after we are all released from captivity, but I don't know. I'll have to see how it goes. There's a red dot there. I need to see what that says. Oh, it says, oh no, it's about my privacy. But that went a long time ago. Right, so we're nearly at 11 o'clock when I'll start. If you've got any questions about anything I've said, each day I'll log on at about 5 to, and we'll talk about a different topic. Things like balance, what weights to use, how to progress exercises. I could talk forever on it, I'm afraid. Right, I make it 11 o'clock, and there seems to be 3 of you there. Hi, Nola. Hi, Delia. Oh, 2 Delias. Right, we'll see if more people log on. Maybe Saturday's not the best time because they maybe go for their one outing to the supermarket. But anyway, so hopefully you have your chair, but we'll put that to one side and we'll start the warm-up just very gently. Remember, feet hardly leaving the floor. On your toes if you can. You don't have to go on your toes immediately. Give yourself time to warm up. Shoulders going. Almost exaggerate your arms. Try and get your arms going forward, not necessarily sideways like that. It looks a bit peculiar. Forwards like that. Okay, we'll just do that for about another 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, hands on shoulders and stretch up. Give it a good old stretch and then down, out to the side, back in, forward and back. We'll do it 2 more times. Out to the side. Make them very exaggerated movements so as you're getting full range of movement. Up, down, out to the side, back in, and forward and back. Okay, we'll do a bit more walking. This time, get your knees a bit higher. See if you can get up on your toes this time. Maybe get your knees a bit higher. Means you probably have to go a bit more slowly, but you'll be warming up these muscles here. The muscles that pull. Remember, muscles can only pull, they can't push. Be a bit like trying to push a piece of string. So these, if you think about your legs as a weight, these muscles here are pulling your leg up. So even although the movement doesn't seem much, you're still strengthening every muscle that moves. And so your limbs, when we do body weight exercises, which is what we do more or less, your limbs are the weights. Right, just do a couple nice and high. See if you can get up on your toes. Opposite arm and leg. Always opposite arm and leg. I think it's camels that walk the same side, don't they? They have the same. Anyway, never mind about camels. Right. So put your hand on your shoulder. Stick your elbow right out. Imagine you've got a pencil on the end of it. Imaginary circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you do this, try and get as much range, movement range as possible on your shoulder. And then forwards, 1, 2, just your shoulder. Don't have your body going like this. 3, 4, 5. And then pencil again, backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, when you're exercising, just think about why you're doing it. So you're doing this one to get your shoulder nice and mobile. So if you're doing that or it's not really working, so be conscious about what you're doing. Right, we're going to do just heel digs. Okay, just little step forward. You don't have to go very far. Now you keep doing that. Okay, and then you're going to do a bicep curl. This is your bicep. And you're going to do a bicep curl as you do the heel dig. This is where coordination comes in. This is where it's a bit more difficult to think, did I defrost those sausages? What am I having for tea? So you're doing the bicep curl is good for this muscle pulling this limb. Remember, muscles can only pull, they can't push. Right, we'll do 5 more seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Now we're going to do, instead of that, we're going to reverse the foot, as it were, and just do toe taps. Just pointing your toe, just gently dipping your toe. If you go too far out, you can't do it. So it's just tapping your toe in front of you. Again, don't stop. And as you do it, do the opposite arm in the bicep curl again. And these are good because they're flexing your ankle, but also you're having to momentarily stand on one leg, which is very good for your balance, and it's good for the strength of the leg that is supporting you. So we're going to do 5 more seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, next one. We're going to just take, we're going to do this one, aren't we? So we're just going out to the side. Don't go very far. You don't need to go very far. Again, you can see with this one how the static leg is bending and supporting you. So the leg that's moving, the hip, these muscles here are moving it out, and your static leg is taking the weight and also doing a sort of a little mini squat. Keep doing this, and then prayer hands and the hands go out. Sorry, I didn't show you my feet, did I? It's just pointing out like that. Nothing complicated. I'll sashay in a bit. Right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Getting hot. So make sure the chair isn't too near, and then we're just going to step back slightly. Just a little step back. You keep doing it. So out with your hands. As you step back, push your hands forward and open your fingers. So as you get a bit of stretching on your hand. We tend to neglect our hands. They're just always there, working away for us. We don't treat them very well. So going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm a bit puffed now. Just going to do a little bit of shoulder mobility. So standing with your feet hip width apart. Just before we do that, we're just going to engage our core. Just give us a bit of a breather. So breathe out. Pull your navel into your backbone. Remember, your core muscles are the muscles that are on the outside, but also deep inside, and they support your whole body and your backbone, your spine. So you need to have a strong core. Just to do that, you need to use your core muscles. It doesn't feel as if you do, but you do. So it's important to have a strong core, and you need to know how to engage your core to sort of brace yourself, and it keeps you more stable. So we breathe out, navel into your backbone, and then release it slightly, and then breathe. Do breathe. It's all very good to breathe. And then what we're going to do is just do a shrug. Try not to move your head down. It's just your shoulders that move. We're going to do, that's 3. Feel your shoulder blades sliding up and down. That's 5. I think we'll just do 5 of those. And then we're going to do 5 roll backs and 5 roll forwards of our shoulders. So up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew, right. Do you remember those steps that we were doing, the heel digs? Those of you that have done this before will remember it. We're just going to practice it a little bit all together as a routine. But bear it in mind because you're going to need it at the end of the session. So we're going to do heel dig, and then we're going out to the side. I know we did toe tap after that, but we're not doing it that way. And then we're going back, and then we're doing the toe tap. And then we're going back into the heel dig, and then to the side. And then we're going back, and then we're doing toe tap. Okay, so we're going heel dig, side, side, back, back, toe tap, toe tap. We're going to do it one more time. Heel dig, side, I forgot there, side, back, back, toe tap, toe tap. Brilliant. Now, try and get that into your long-term memory. And remember, if something is difficult, it means you should do it more, not less, because you need to practice it. Right, we're going to start the main body of the exercise session now. I should have explained that we do a warm-up, the main body, and then a stretch. So we're going to do the squats. Those of you that can't do the squat, remember, sitting in the chair and just standing up, try to stand up without using your hands. If that's easy, but you can't go into a squat, stand up and then go down, but hover a little bit before you sit. Those of you that can do the squat, remember, I'm turning sideways so as you can see me better. Squatting is sitting down without the chair. So you stick your bottom out and you go down. Now, if you only want to go down to there, that's absolutely fine. So we're going to do 10. I'm going to do 10. I'm going to do 5, not very far down, and then 5 further down. Okay, I'll stay sideways. No, I won't. Feet hip width apart. Try not to let your knees go in. Try and keep your knees like that. Okay, so 1, oops, I'm not going down so far, am I? 2, and then thrust your pelvis forward. 3, 2, stretch these hip flexors. 4, bottom out, sitting right back. 5, 6, I'll go down this one. 7, I use my arms to balance me, counterbalance me. 8, 9, 10. See how I nearly fell over backwards? I nearly overbalanced backwards. That's because my weight is on my heels. When you're doing a squat, your weight should really be on your heels. So you're sort of leaning back like that. And that's why I sometimes overbalance. Right. I'm standing side on again, so as you can see what I'm going to do. We're going to start with your hands on your thighs, feet hip width apart. And as you raise one hand, you raise one hand up. You can only get it to there, absolutely fine. And then as we raise the other one, bring this one back. Okay, so that's 1. 2, we're going to do 10. Try not to move your torso. 3, try not to sway backwards and forwards. 4, it's just your arms that move. 5, 6, it's quite hypnotic actually. 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. What are we doing now? Hang on a moment. Oh, yes, I know. Oh, yes, I know. So, remember I was saying about when you do this, you use the muscles at the side of your hip. So, what we're going to do this time, you can hold on because it's not a balancing exercise. So, hold on to your chair and we're just going to lift your leg to the side. Remember, keep your foot facing forwards and try not to lean over to the side to get more lift. Doesn't matter how far, if you can only get it to there, it's absolutely fine. It's the fact that this these muscles here are pulling your leg up. So we're going to do 10 on each side. So do it at my speed as well. So 1, 2, 3. If you can't manage the 10, that's fine. 4, just do what you can. 5, but take a note of how far you get. 6, 7, and then maybe next time try and do one more. 8, 9, 10. Fab. Your body improves, adapts to exercise. So in order to keep getting fitter, you need to keep progressing and increasing the amount of weights that you use or the number of repetitions you do. So if you can only do 5, 6 of those, note it down, do 7 next time or even next week. 8, 9, 10. Right, so standing upright. 1, 2, can you feel it there? 3, 4. If you put your hand just here, 5, just before your groin, you should be able to feel a muscle there. 6, tightening as you lift. 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. Oh, I think I still need this, don't I? Yes, I do. This is no, sorry. I've got a cue card down here. That's why I'm staring to my right. This next one is again using your arms, but in a slightly different way to that way. So stand with your hands, the palms of your hands against your thighs, and then turn your hands outwards so that you're rotating. This joint is rotating. And then we're going to go up and just touch our hands above our head and then come down again. If you can't get your hands above your head, absolutely fine. Just if you only need to go to there, that's fine. Remember to rotate your hands though, because that's quite important. So we're going to do another 9 and we're going to pretend that the air is very heavy. Sun's coming out, but we can't. Right, up. That's 2. 2. And then up again. 3. I'm catching the chair. Up again. Oh, that air is so heavy. Press it down. 4. You can do this with weights. 5. I forgot to talk about weights. 6. Am I double counting? This seems to be taking a long time. 7. 8. 9. 10. No, 9. Sorry. 10. I'm all over the place today with my counting. 10. No idea whether that was 10 or not. Yes, because I suddenly got concerned that I wasn't mentioning weights. All the arm exercises that we're doing, you can use weights for. And I've talked about weights on previous shows and previous classes, and I'll talk about them again on Monday. But I'm not going to do that today because I have talked about them before. So the next one we're going to do, you need your chair. This is a balancing exercise, but I want you to have the chair there just in case, just for a bit of security. So what we're going to do is engage core, and then we're going to just raise one leg, and then we're going to pull it up slightly higher. If you find this easy and you want to make it really difficult, straighten your leg, bend it back in, and then down. And we're going to do 5 on that side. So up again, pull it up slightly higher. If you want to, straighten it, and then back down. 2. You don't have to straighten it. Up. Woo, I'm falling. Straighten, back in. It's all controlled. 3. Up. Up a bit more. straighten. There. If you can only get your leg to there, that's fine. You can still straighten it if you want. It doesn't have to be up there. Just get your leg to where you can. But again, notice where it goes to and try and get it slightly higher each time. I think this is the last one. Up again, straighten, back and down. That really gets it at the top of your leg, that one. Other side, right. Engage core, knee up a little bit higher, straighten if you want, down and down. When you straighten it, lift a bit higher. Don't kick it forward, lift it. Make these, that's your, and down. Your quadriceps, these big thigh muscles, are lifting it. Your lower limb is acting as a weight. Up, up. And then, is that 3 or 4? 3, up, up. I'm going to have to get, see that way, I leant backwards that time, which I shouldn't have done. And then up, up, out, in, down. Give your legs a bit of a shake. Yes, I'm going to have to get to grips with this counting business, aren't I? Right, we're going to do a little bit of jigging around. So have your hands here. I'm just going to actually take my watch off because I want to time this one. So we're going to have our hands here and just bring your knee up to your hands. If you can't get your knee up to your hands, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm feeling this on my legs a little bit now because of that last exercise that we were doing. If you can, go up on your toes. And if you can, cross over. Woo, I can feel that in the small of my back. And I can feel that it's stiff there. So because it's stiff, what I need to do is I need to do it more rather than less, rather than think, ooh, that's a bit stiff. I'm not going to do that. So whichever way you want to do it, we're just going to do it. We're at 40 seconds. We're going to keep doing it until we're at a minute. Okay, that's 10 seconds left. Oh, I'm doing what I tell you not to do, aren't I? I'm using my hands putting my hands to my knee rather than the other way around. Oh, sorry. I would have counted you down, but I couldn't see the watch properly. It's made me puff a bit. Are you puffing? It's like play school. It's made me puff a bit, children. Do you know what puffing is? I'm puffing. Are you puffing? Right. The next one, this is for your tricep, which is the muscle on the back of your arm here. And this one is particularly effective if you use weights, but it's fine without weights as well. So you want your standing up nice and straight, core engaged. And then I put my hand on my shoulder to stop the shoulder moving because it's just your forearm. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm watching myself as well. 6, so that I can see if my shoulder moves. 7, 8, 9, 10. Because sometimes if you lose concentration, I find it more difficult with my left arm as well to coordinate it. So 1, 2, 3, nice and slow and controlled. 4, see my shoulders moving a bit there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fabulous. Right, now because I'm mean and horrible, but because it's so important, we're going to do another set of 10 squats. And this time I'm not going to bother talking all the way through it. So if you want to go in your chair or if you want to stand up, we're going to do them. Okay, so 1, overbalancing again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nice and slow and controlled. 7, the slower you do them, the more difficult they are. 8, but the more benefit you get. 9, 10. If it's hurting your knees, you're not going back far enough. Just, if you have your feet hip width apart, just go down, stick your bum out, just down a tiny bit. If you feel your thighs and your bum muscles, they should be tense. They should be taking the weight. Right. Feet slightly wider than hip width apart, we're going to do a side bend. So we're going to go to the side. If you want, put one hand over, it increases the stretch. See if you can get your hand to your knee, and then up, and then down again, and then up, and 3. I can obviously count to 5 without too much trouble. It's when we have to go to 10. 4. Try not to go forwards or back. 5. It's just to the side. And then we're going to do the other side. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I definitely am getting better at those. There's no question about it. Final one. Almost. So take your thumb, stick it into your hands. Remember, have this as a V in front of you. This is a good exercise for these muscles at the top of the top here, which are called your, well, traps for short, your trapezii, I suppose is the plural. Right. So you need that V there, and you're going to lift your hands slowly, but it's the elbows that come up first. Hands should never be higher than your elbow. If you can only go to there, fine. There, fine. As long as that V stays. If you can, up to your chin. So that's 1, nice and slow and controlled. 2, concentrate on technique. Look at your arms if you need to. 3, 4. The forearms, 5, aren't really doing anything. 6, it's all your shoulders and your upper arms that are moving. 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. I can feel it here as well as my traps. Right, because we've had a couple of exercises, because we got quite warm, and then we've had a couple of exercises that have slowed us down. And we're going to do that routine to the proclaimers, because it warms us up again and gets us ready for the stretches that are to come. So don't go away. Don't go and sort of think, oh, that's over, and make your coffee. I'm just going to fiddle. Last week, somebody said the music was a bit loud, so I'm going to try it here today and see how it works. Okay? I can just get this. Be nice if I could just zap it. Come on, little thing. Oh no, wrong way. Talk amongst yourselves. This Nano that I'm using, this iPod, is really old. So old, in fact, that my iTunes won't recognize it. Proclaimers, there we are. Right. Are we ready? Can you hear that? Oh, shh. Well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. Right, I'm gonna try it again. you hear that?
When I wake up,
Oh, flip.
gonna be you. When I go out,
Sounds like a submarine. Can you hear it?
I'm gonna be
Get
the
the chair out of the
man
way.
who goes along with
Right.
you. If I get
Heel.
drunk, well, I know
Side.
I'm gonna be
Back.
the man who gets up next to you.
Toe tap.
If I hit
Heel
that,
foot dig.
yeah, I know
Side.
I'm
Back.
gonna be the man who's shivering to you.
Toe tap.
But I will
Heel.
walk 500
Side.
miles and I will walk
Back.
500
Not very coordinated today. Toe. Heel. Side. Back. Toe tap. 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 Heel dig. Side. Back. One more time. Heel tap. Sorry. Last one, toe tap. Fabulous. Right. I don't know whether the music was too loud, whether you could hear me shouting at you. I was a little bit disorientated, as you probably noticed. Anyway, hopefully that's given you a bit of a perk up. So we're going to do some stretching now. So the first one with stretching, so that I don't forget anything, I usually start at the bottom and work all the way up. So the first one is the calf stretch. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back foot, heel on the ground, front leg bent, back leg straight, lean forward. If you can't get your heel on the ground, move your feet closer together. We'll just hold it here for a few seconds. A bit longer than a couple, but not too many. And then very gently bend your back leg. Your heel will come off the floor and you'll feel the stretch moving down into your Achilles at the bottom of your calf. Okay, so we'll switch over. Same thing, front leg bent, back leg straight, heel on the ground. Can you see my heel there? It's on the ground, leaning forward. And the stretch on this one is sort of behind your kneecap. It's at the top of your calf. And I was once doing this, pushing my car because it had broken down. And I pinged the muscle that you can feel stretching. I pinged it. It was like an elastic band going off in my leg. It was very unpleasant. Right. Bend your back knee very slightly. Heel comes off the ground. Stretch moves down into your Achilles. Okay. I'm moving my chair around. You don't need to. The next one we're going to do is the quadricep stretch. Remember, the quadriceps are these big thigh muscles in the front. If you can, grab your shoe, your foot, your shin, anything you can to try and get your leg up behind you and keep your knees together, and that gives you a stretch there. If you can't do that, just do this. This is dynamic stretching. That stretches these muscles. Okay? So if you've managed to grab your foot or your whatever, hold it there for a few seconds, a few more seconds. Meanwhile, the others keep doing this. And then the ones that are doing this, can you grab your other leg, your left leg or your right leg, and hold it together? Oh, tipping forward. Okay, right. The next one we're going to do is the hamstrings. The hamstrings are these big muscles on the back of your legs. The ones where if you try and touch your toes, they stop you. If you're not flexible enough. So you need to sit towards the edge of the chair. I'm just going to move this back a little bit. Sit towards the edge of the chair and put one foot out in front of you with the toe pulled back. Remember, that's dorsiflexion. Your other leg is at 90 degrees, just resting on the ground, sitting up nice and straight. Lean forward from the hips, not from the waist. Just lean forward. And it doesn't matter how far you go, whether you can get right down to your toes like I can, or whether you can only get to your knees or maybe even mid-thigh. As long as it's stretching your hamstrings a little bit, that's all that matters. And remember, it should be challenging, but not painful. Pain is a signal that something's going wrong. And then sitting up, other one, toe pulled back, sitting up nice and straight, lean forward. There's a difference between your muscles hurting because they're coming alive and being used for the first time, and pain. Pain is usually sharp initially. And I think we all know the difference. You might be sore the next day, but that's okay. Okay, next one we're going to do, standing up. I mean, you can do all these sitting down, but if you can stand up, it's always better to stand up because it helps your balance. Without realizing it, without knowing it, your whole body, you've got this thing called proprioception, and your whole body is always adjusting and just rearranging itself. So if you're standing up, it gives it more chance to practice. If you're sitting down, it can go to sleep. So hands out to the side, palms facing forwards, round a tree, pretend you're going round a tree. I want your arms to be round rather than straight out, and dip your head. And it's those big muscles at the top of your shoulders that you're stretching. Try and get your shoulder blades apart. We carry quite a lot of tension in our shoulders. I quite like this one. I find it quite nice to do. And then, if you can, interlock your fingers. If you can't, just get your elbows, try and get your elbows as close as possible. Imagine you've got something between your shoulder blades that you're trying to squidge. And if you can get your shoulders together or your hands together, out like that, and stretching your chest. Standing up nice and straight, give it a good old stretch. Oh, there we go, release. Next one is for these muscles. These shoulder muscles are the deltoids. So we'll put that across there and you push. Sometimes my shoulder goes clunk when it gets into position. If you've got any trouble with your shoulder, you may find this one painful. If it's painful, don't do it. That's Rosemary's golden rule. If it hurts, stop it. So just push. Sorry, I should have said we push with that one, just to stretch it a little bit. And then we'll undo it, and then we'll do the other one. Again, same principle. If it hurts, don't do it. And then we're going to put our hands up and down our back. And if you've got shoulder mobility, this may be difficult for you. If it hurts, don't do it. If you can only get it to there, don't try and force it up by bending forward. Just accept that it goes to there and give it a push. But if you can get it there and then stretch it out, that's good. Okay, and the other one, up and down, pull that back, just to get a bit of a stretch right down here. And then finally, come up to the top, come up to our neck. So sitting in the chair, anywhere you like, forward, back, whatever. You're going to just dip your head and put your hand on top of your head, on your crown. Don't push. Just let the weight of your hand gently move your head down, but don't push because your neck is much weaker than your hand. We don't want any hurt necks. And then bring your head up. This one, I'm going to turn the head. I don't know if you've all done this before. I can't see because I'm too short-sighted who's on and who's not. Just watch very quickly. turn your head to the left, and then note where it is, and then put your hand on your chin and try and turn your head back to the center, but resist with your hand. So you're creating tension in your neck, and then you're going to keep that tension, and then you're going to relax everything, and you should be able to turn your head a little bit further. Okay, we'll do that now. So turn your head to the left, just your head, don't move your shoulders, hand on your chin. Try and turn your head back to the center, resist with your hand, resist, resist. Get that tension in your neck and then relax and see if you can turn it a little bit further. That's called the PNF stretch, proprioception neuromuscular facilitation. There you go. I just put that in to show you that I know what I'm talking about. Turn your head to the right. Can't tell my left from my right, but I know what PNF stands for. Turn your head to the right. Hand on your chin. Try and turn your head back to the center. Oh, resist with your hand, resist with your hand. And then relax and see if you can turn it a bit further. I certainly can. I can certainly feel an ability to turn it more. And that's the end of today's one. I'm going to start, like I said, tune in on Monday at 5 to 11 because I want to talk about weights then, I think. We'll talk about muscles and weights and things. And I'm so glad I'm due an Amazon delivery, and I just had a feeling it would come in the middle of the exercise class, and there's no way I could have pretended I wasn't in because I've got big windows, so he would have been able to see me. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on Monday. Are you sure you want to end it? Yes, I'm sure I do.